Hi, welcome to a Talks on Olympus. My name's Keely,
I'm Katie.
and today is all about the party god Dionysus. Woo! Okay, so what he's the god of? So he's the god of wine, vegetation, pleasure, festivity, madness, and wild frenzy. Any comments?
He's my favorite god out of all of the pantheon. He's always really been my favorite because he's just a silly little guy. He's just a wild party man. I love him.
He's just a party guy.
He is, and he's my baby.
So the origins of his name, not his name, of him, the god. So he is a demigod child of Zeus who had an affair with a mortal. I can't say the name, so there's the name. Hera was upset at the fact that he had another affair. So she tricked the mortal woman into looking at Zeus in his godly form. Don't do this.
Bad.
You will disintegrate.
But because she was pregnant with Dionysus, but he didn't because he was a demigod. So he just kind of fell on the ground, and Zeus was like, "Bro, what do I do now? I have an infant just on the floor, but it's not fully cooked. I guess I'm gonna cut open my leg and just sew him up in there, I guess." And then 9 months later, he had a boy.
His name was Dionysus. Okay, after he was born, he was entrusted the care of Dionysus and the nymphs of Mount Nysa. Again, Greek names. I'll put them up here. We can't say them.
We're not Greek.
Hera thought he died. The child had died. So she was okay with life. But then she found he was still alive, and she was very upset. So he was currently living with his aunt and uncle. She drove the couple, his aunt and uncle. He was living with mad, and they killed each other and their children.
But not him.
Not him.
He survived.
Because Hera hates him. Years after, he was ascended into the god of wine we know today. Domains. So domains are things they look over, but they don't have control over, kind of. That's basically what it is. Yeah. His domains are wine, fertility. Again, third fertility god we've talked about.
Yeah. Gods like to be fertile.
It's Greek.
They have so many children. They like to be
children. Theater. He was the first. He created theater. So theater kids out there,
thank Dionysus. I sure do. I love him.
Some of his other domains are ritual madness, orchards, fruit, festivity, and insanity.
Like with the ritual madness and the insanity, I wonder because Hera had caused his aunt and uncle to go mad. I wonder if, because that cause, he has the effect of insanity and madness.
Probably, actually.
Because, but also, Hera drives a lot of the gods and goddesses mad. So, if, he has insanity, then why don't the rest of them? Well, I guess they do, because they can cause anybody to go cuckoo bananas at any time they want to, if they want.
He has powers like every other god, and some of those powers are blind making, transforming into animal, and driving people insane.
Again, I wonder if insanity is tied to Hera and his backstory, but then again,
every god should have insanity.
Because there's been a couple of stories with, Athena and stuff, where, not Athena, it is Athena. Yeah, Athena. Athena, where she drives mortals mad because they compared themselves to her.
I thought that was Aphrodite.
And Aphrodite. There's been a couple of cases where, especially the really vain gods and goddesses, have been like, oh, you want to compare yourself to me? You want to compare yourself to me? Let's go, bro. Let's go. Guess who's gonna believe you after, you say that you compare yourself to me? No one! No one!
Yeah, no, the gods are so petty. It's amazing.
They're so petty, and they're so vengeful, too. Sisyphus? Whoa. crazy. It's just up there. Oh my god.
Yeah. Scylla?
So, do you mean the centaurs?
No, Scylla. Scylla is the three-headed snake woman who Circe turns into a monster because she was jealous of her. Okay, so his Rome version, like every other god, the Romans took over for the Greeks, as we know. And so
We hate the Romans.
we really do not like the Romans. So his Roman version was Bacchus. Again, name here. We apologize for mispronouncing. In Rome, he was more in tune with the partying side of his domains versus like the insanity part, like more like Greek is a part of. So symbols. Every god has symbols. Like Poseidon has his trident, Zeus has his thunderbolt, Aphrodite has doves.
Bear has a peacock.
Yeah.
Just a peacock.
And so his symbol is a Thasos. This is what a Thasos is.
What's a Thasos?
A Thasos is a pine cone shaped staff.
That's cool.
It's this little one. That's it.
Okay, she probably put the image up there, but it kind of looks like, like a wheat stalk. You know how it kind of looks like that, but she'll probably put the image up there.
I'll put the other symbols are a drinking cup, grapes, and a panther.
What about the dolphin?
That's a sacred animal.
Oh,
The panther is a symbol of him.
okay. Because I know that he has an imagery of like dolphins and stuff.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. Why does a land god have imagery of a dolphin?
And the sea god.
Sea god have imagery of a horse.
Yeah, no. The horses don't make any sense.
Whoever's in charge of the Greek pantheon, flip them.
Woo!
Doesn't make any sense, guys.
No. So his sacred plants and animals. So sacred items were a thing that the Greeks believed that the gods remained in. So kind of like Islam and cows. Right? Is it Islamic or is it?
It's India. You know how like in India people believe that like cows are like gods and godly and you must respect them? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, ooh, this is an oak tree, and they're like, oh, that's this so-and-so god, you must respect that oak tree.
Yeah, I don't know how they ate anything because his sacred animals were panthers, bulls, leopards, tigers, and dolphins. But a few of the gods have like cows as their sacred animals. There's chickens. So I'm like, I don't know what they ate. Fish? Probably fish.
Probably a lot. I'm thinking about Greek food.
It's fish.
They had some lamb.
Lambs.
Like, I'm just thinking about gyros. I am hungry, guys.
We have not had food today. And his sacred plants were ivy, grapes, bindweed, and pine.
They might have like eaten it sacredly, you know?
Oh, probably.
Like,
if you didn't believe in the god, you probably didn't eat it.
well, that, but also like, we've been given this by this god, so we must eat it like sacredly, you know?
Oh.
In a way. But that's just a theory.
And
Pocket an Olympus theory.
And his myths. So his myths, he's not part of as many famous myths as other Olympians, but some of the famous myths he is a part of is his birth, his marriage with the mortal woman Ariadne, and his encounter with mortals in general. No, we're just calling her Ariadne.
Perfect!
Of Ariadne, this is probably one of the more interesting myths he is a part of. So she was the mortal woman who helped Theseus in the labyrinth.
Remember Theseus? I don't know if we talked about him, but remember Theseus?
We're probably going to talk about him soon. But Theseus is, as we know, the Greek hero who slayed the Minotaur. And yeah, he slayed the Minotaur in the labyrinth and he escaped. He fled with Ariadne to his ship. Then they went to an island called Naxos, and Theseus abandoned her while she was sleeping.
He went to go get milk.
Yes.
And you know what happens when people go get milk.
When she was sleeping, Dionysus found her, and he made her his wife.
Not immediately. He didn't see her while she was sleeping and go, "That's my wife." But he saw her and was like, "Wow, I'm so stunned by your beauty and your grace just while you're sleeping, bro. When you eventually wake, you will be my wife." And they fell in love.
Yeah. And there's two parts of the ending of this myth. She was either slain by the goddess Artemis, or she ascended to Olympus with her husband as an immortal. I'm believing the second theory.
I like the first one. Because, stuff happens,
Dionysus?
I would love to talk about the cult of Dionysus. Okay. You down. Okay, so this is more apparent with the Roman half of Dionysus, because the Roman half of Dionysus was more emphasized on partying, while the Greek half was more emphasized on, fertility and, fermenting and wine and, kind of foods in a way. They were more focused on the cultural aspects that he could have himself on their living, while the Romans, we don't like the Romans.
No, we don't.
Well, we sometimes like the Romans when they're cool, and if they're not cool, they suck.
They really do suck. It's not fun.
They're not fun. So the Roman side of the mythology more focused on
partying, like we mentioned before.
Partying, like we mentioned. And they would often have supernatural gatherings in a way, often compared to cults, because they would worship Dionysus himself, and they would give him offerings, his special offerings and his special symbols, like we talked about. And it would be this insane kind of it was very intensely sexual, it was very intense, and it was a lot found it very comforting in a way, because a lot of his cult were very highly feminine population. A lot of them were mostly women, because at this time it was not necessarily entirely solely domestic abuse, but that's how things worked back then.
And the only women like that were really respected in Greek mythology, or in Greek in general, was women of Sparta.
Yeah. And so they found comfort in Dionysus being we can express ourselves and we can be kind of who we are and have a great night of fun while still being valued by ourselves as women. And that's one of the many reasons why I love Dionysus, because he has, kind of the Roman version of Dionysus, because he has this kind of great power, and he uses it for good. Because unlike Zeus, he's not taking advantage of all of these women around him, but if it were Zeus in his place, Zeus would take advantage of all of these women and more. You would see 70, 60 demigods popping out every 5 minutes if it were Zeus instead of Dionysus. But because Dionysus took a different approach, and he was party for me? Thank you! Instead of women? Women! So that's why Dionysus is really chill.
Yeah, and so he had strong, with his cult of Dionysus, they were strongly associated with satyrs, centaurs, and Silenes. They're basically centaurs. I don't know why there's a new name for it.
It might be the show Cat Dog. It might be a satyr and a centaur.
Oh.
It might be like a weird cross height. You know how like donkeys and horses have mules? Wait, isn't a mule donkey?
Yeah.
Have that weird donkey horse hybrid? It might be a weird donkey horse hybrid.
Okay.
We don't know. Fact check us.
And another thing they had strong symbolism was like trans people,
LGBTQ plus people, because Dionysus respected all. If you partied, he partied with you.
and like cross-dressing. So Dionysus is one of probably the coolest gods that we've talked about so far.
Yeah, because he's rad.
He's so great. I don't think he has many children. Let me look that up real quick because I forgot to talk about it.
Yeah, I think he had like some children. I don't know if he had like as many as some of the other Greek gods and goddesses did, because I know Aphrodite herself had a lot of kids, aka Thermus. Shout out Thermus. But I know that because you have to carry on your lineage somehow, but also like he did fall in love. So it would make sense if he did have children in some capacity.
Yeah, so there's like 4 that are like with his wife Ariadne, and
so would they be counted as demigods, or did they also ascend into godhood like Dionysus did? Do you know that at all?
No, not at all. So, but their names are, oh my goodness gracious, Staphylus.
Oh, I thought that said lemons. There's Thoas, king of Lemons. Lemons?
We're just gonna put all these names in the description.
He's the king of lemons.
Oenopion. Again, we're gonna put all these names in the description. I'm so sorry for butchering them.
He's the personification of wine, which makes sense for Dionysus. He saw probably a barrel of wine and said, "You're my kid now."
But his children with Ariadne ruled several islands in the North Aegean.
That's cool.
So that's all with Dionysus today.
Join us next time.
And we're going to be talking about our favorite love couple.
What, do I get to say that? Oh, cool. I get to say that. We're going to be talking about Hades and Persephone and their very adorable, yet also tragic love story.
Yeah.
Because we love them, but also they're a little sad sometimes.
They're really sad sometimes.
They're just a cute little emo couple.
They are. Okay, so join us next time. We'll probably have more people, maybe not. We're not sure yet.
It's just me for this episode because I truthfully love Dionysus and everybody else is a loser and didn't want to join Key. So screw you.
So join us next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you liked the episode, and have a good day.